The death of a man found in a water retention pond earlier this week has been classified as a homicide. On Thursday, July 24th, 2014, at approximately 2 p.m., emergency personnel received a report of a possible body in a water retention pond in the area of Stoney Trail and 16th Avenue Northeast. The Calgary Fire Department coordinated the recovery of the body. An autopsy was conducted late yesterday afternoon. The victim was identified as Colton James Crowshoe, 18, of Calgary. For investigative reasons, the cause of death is not being released at this time. It is not known how long the victim had been deceased. This is one of the questions being addressed in the investigation. The victim had been reported missing after being last seen by friends in the Abbeydale area of Northeast Calgary sometime between 2:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. on Friday, July 4th, 2014. I will now take your questions.
So there's nothing you could say, you can't tell us why you believe this is a homicide?
Based on our investigation to date, witness interviews, and the examination conducted by the medical examiner's office, we have deemed this a homicide investigation.
Do you have any suspects?
We don't have any suspects at this time. We have a number of theories that we're working on, and we continue to move forward with this investigation.
Are those theories drug-related?
They're based on witness interviews, information that we've already obtained during the course of this investigation, but I can't comment on them specifically to protect the integrity of the investigation.
Was the victim known to police?
I can't comment on whether the victim was or was not known to the police.
Do you know what the victim was doing, hours before?
He was at a party in the Abbeydale area, and he was last seen leaving that party with friends.
Do you know if, I know you said you have no specific suspects, but do you think this was a random act or some type of...
Those are one of the things that we want to narrow down in this investigation. We're keeping an open mind at this point, and we're looking at all possibilities.
Are witnesses being cooperative?
Yes, they have been cooperative with the police, and we have interviewed a number of witnesses, but we encourage anyone with information in regards to this investigation to contact the Calgary Police Service.
The family saying that police were reluctant to thoroughly investigate the case from the start. What's your response to that?
We take all complaints seriously, and we dedicate resources to ensure we conduct a thorough and complete investigation. During the course of this investigation, we continue to reassess our response. In regards to missing persons investigations, we have to assess our response and also look at the right of an individual to be away from family and friends. But as this investigation moved forward, we continue to reassess our response.
Did he have a history of running away or anything like that prior to?
I can't comment on the victim's background.
Now, what led you back to the pond? Were you guys back there investigating, or did a person in the public?
There was a witness who was walking by the area at the time, noticed a body in the pond, and contacted the Calgary Police Service. Based on that, we responded with the Calgary Fire Department and the Calgary Police.
Just for a little bit of background for myself, what had you guys done in the area of the pond previously?
There was a search conducted in the immediate area of Abbeydale about 3 days prior to him being discovered, but nothing in the area of the pond prior to his body being discovered.
And so you don't know if he died the night that he went missing?
Those are one of the things we have to narrow down, and that'll be based on witness interviews and working with the medical examiner's office.
I know you said anybody with information can call police, but are you really sort of hoping that the public can help you with this one?
We are. We're hoping, first of all, that people who were in attendance at the party will come forward, those who we have not already contacted, and anyone else who may have information.
Can you say if there was any kind of conflict at the party that night?
To protect the integrity of the investigation, I can't comment at this time.
Can you comment on how big the party was? Like how many witnesses?
Yeah, I don't have that details, or those details right now.
Is it alarming his age, being involved in something like this?
I think we have to be alarmed anytime a person is involved in a violent incident. We do know, just in respect to homicide numbers, we do know that numbers are going to fluctuate from year to year. However, we don't have anything to indicate that any of our homicides are connected. But we should be concerned anytime we have a violent incident in our community, no matter what the age of the victim.
You mentioned homicide numbers there, 20 in 2014 so far. Does that seem like a larger amount?
We know that numbers are going to fluctuate, as I stated. The incidents appear to be the same, but we've had a number of investigations this year involving multiple victims.
So the Calgary Police Service typically takes in about 3,300 missing persons complaints in any given year as a running average. Of those, roughly 50%, give or take 1 point of that, are male-female. And roughly 2/3 of those numbers would be youth, and 1/3 would be adults. So roughly, out of the 2,200 of those complaints would be youth, and 1,100 would be adults. In terms of response, the Calgary Police Service has instituted policies and practices which involve investigations that begin with the front line, who has conducted an initial assessment, goes through supervisory review, and as additional information needs to be developed, our missing persons team would act as a resource and provide guidance with those investigations.
So, is it fair to say that complaints involving people underage would be prioritized?
You know, we actually look at the risk for the individual, and those things that might elevate the risk for us are things like mental or physical health issues, the very old, the very young, those who can't care for themselves. Those are the ones that we really have a strong focus on. Those folks who have the ability to care for themselves, they get reduced in priority.
So in this situation, what would the first action be that you guys would take then?
Well, I can't speak to this individual investigation. The general process would be that somebody would contact the Public Safety Communications Center or any officer for the Calgary Police Service. An assessment is done based upon a series of questions that we develop through best practices looking around the world. From that, car crew would be dispatched and conduct the initial investigation, and then conduct follow-up investigations to try and locate the individual.
So not every investigation is treated the same.
No, so that's the process, and then from there, follow-up investigations continue as the investigation proceeds. So we don't conclude a missing persons investigation until the person's found.
So the family has complained that this wasn't treated as a missing person early enough. Can you just sort of explain the factors that, Doug mentioned that a person has a right to be free. This guy was 18. Can you just sort of explain the factors that you would have to sort of take into account?
So you have to understand that being missing is not considered to be a crime. So we really have to, some people may choose to not be in contact with friends, relatives, and associates for their own reasons. We really have to look at balancing the rights of the individual's privacy with linking them to a Calgary Police Service investigation. And that balance is something that we carefully assess for each case.